Sweep, and I probably should have prepared this. The award nominated podcast for a podcast award from Volume 1. If you were watching this after the fact, look at this QR code on the
Oh,
screen. Go vote for us. Scan the QR code. It'll take you to volume1.org/best of. Under the media and info section, there's best podcast. You can sign in with as many email addresses that you have to vote, and you can vote for up to 3 podcasts. That means you can vote for the Lombardi Sweep podcast, which you're listening to right now. You can vote for the Flurry Sports podcast, and then you can choose between Fantasy Football by Committee and the I Don't Think So podcast. They are both Flurry Sports podcasts, but definitely go vote for us. If we win, we will be at the live award show being ourselves, which I think is all we really need to do.
I think that if we win, we just go there and ask people, is water wet, or just like, we should round up the Randy questions and just start sending those around to people.
That's very true. If we win, because there's a time obviously between, or maybe we'll just be told we're a finalist or something. We should come with a bunch of questions, or like make T-shirts with like different questions on it. So It'll be confusing. It'll be good.
Yep.
But yeah, go vote for us, please. Janet, if you're listening, get all your old people to vote, please.
Favorite grilled cheese? That's my favorite Randy question.
I don't remember that one. Yeah. Favorite grilled cheese?
Like, what does that even mean?
Yeah, I don't know. He's had a few like that.
Yeah. Miss you, Randy.
Yeah. Miss you. Yeah, he's been showing up on Thursdays for the Start Sit show. But Randy, if you're listening to this right now, let us know what is going on. Luke, I just went to the Packers ESPN page. Fines levied in connection with Lambeau death. Do you know anything about this?
No.
Oh, construction. So.
Oh, that happened this summer.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever. Okay. Whatever. Who cares about that nerd dying? Let's talk about the Packers winning on Thanksgiving.
Fucking Jared Goff, that nerd dying.
Yeah. There was another death at Lambeau Field, or I guess it was in Ford Field on Thanksgiving. Packers with one of the biggest wins of the season, possibly biggest win of the season. They dominated on Thanksgiving. They kicked off week 12, and everyone was sort of counting them out, rightfully so. I mean, the Lions have been good all year long. Packers have been lackluster all year long, and every ball bounced Green Bay's way. Jordan Love played, I would say, the best game of his career.
Yep.
I personally think Christian wants to play the best game of his career.
Yep.
Not technically, but production-wise, I think he looked the best he's looked.
Yep.
Luke, what's your thoughts?
Just to add on to that real quick, like Jordan Love played the best game of his career. Christian Watson played the best game of his career. I think probably Rashawn Gary played the best game of his career. And I think Matt LaFleur probably coached the best game of his career in that game. So it felt like a 4-banger there. It felt like a gangbang of best games from the Packers. I'm with it. I was thinking, like, you know, I don't want to say like this. Of course, it's not like I don't think like this is a top 5 win in Packer history. I don't think it's even a top 10, maybe not even top 50. But I think it's an all-time Packer win, right? Given on the national broadcast, everybody watching them, sitting down before Thanksgiving, nobody had faith in the Packers. It really felt like the Lions were going to come in and you know, win this game by 20. And the Packers found themselves up by 20 after like the first 4 drives of the game. So I think as a Packer fan, it was very fun. It felt like a game where, given the youth on the team, it felt like they just went out and had fun and kind of played, like Zach, you've been saying all week, like just kind of played backyard football. Like you're out at Thanksgiving playing football. And it really seemed like all the Packers were having fun for the first time this year. So yeah, it was very fun as a Packer fan to watch it. Now, can they make a run at the playoffs? Probably not. You know, it's still up in the air here. But like I said, I think it's a huge win for morale. I think it's a huge win that'll probably, you know, go down in Packer lore, especially with the whole fucking turkey situation, which is still a mystery going on. But I don't know. I don't know what you think, but I think it's a very good win for all the Packer fans out there, and certainly a good win for the Gutekunst and LaFleur truthers out there.
I mean, I think you could for sure argue that it's the biggest win in Matt LaFleur's career.
Yeah, certainly up there.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's beaten Dan Campbell to this point. If it is, it's the second time he's beat him. I can't remember if he won the very first one or not. Um, but it's the biggest win post Aaron Rodgers. Obviously, it is. I mean, everything went right, and I think the short week really assisted the Packers in this one.
Agreed.
Like, I think they didn't overthink things. I think the extremely simple game plan going in to those short week games really benefited the young guys. And I think the less restrictive this offense is, the better it is. And Matt LaFleur kind of, reaped the benefits because of it. The fact that they started out fast, I mean, that was the kind of thing I talked about last week when I did it alone. My biggest key to victory was you can't get behind to the Lions. And the Packers have started slow so often this year. I mean, I don't think it's exaggerating to say if the Lions scored first, the Packers lose.
Right.
Like I just think they start out fast and the ball bounced their way. LaFleur, for whatever reason, if he's down by a half a point, he gets off his game plan, he panics, and he didn't have the opportunity to panic, and everything worked out.
And that's why I love them winning the toss and receiving right away.
For sure. That was smart. That was a good decision. To your point, Rashawn Gary fucking, someone pissed in his Cheerios. I hate the guy, but he played extremely well. Certainly, yeah, for sure the best game of his career. For whatever reason, I mean, the Lions offensive tackles did not even show up. They had no chance to even block them. They were in Jared Goff's face, in his lap the entire game. Jared Goff did Jared Goff things. And it was good. It was good. The pressure got home. The Joe Barry philosophy kind of got to be showcased. It's just bring pressure, and we're either going to get home or we're going to get destroyed. We're going to get burnt. And there's open receivers, but Jared Goff couldn't do it. So, shorthanded Packers team does not matter. They got a very big win. But yeah, just in general, Jordan Love, I will say, it for sure was the best game of his career. He had a number of very good throws in the game. Most importantly, he had a number of good throws. We keep talking about how he just doesn't have any of those decent, good throws. It's usually great or it's horrendous. And, he had a lot of really good decisions, a lot of good throws. Christian Watson bailed him out. Jaden Reed bailed him out. Some good stuff.
How nice was it to see Christian Watson win a jump ball?
Very nice. Very nice. Uncharacteristic. But again, he wasn't really running routes out there. So I think he just, again, it was backyard football. He just jumped over his uncle kind of thing. It's just he's trying to find an open spot in the defense and then go get the ball, which is good. Which is good. That's all he needs to do. But yeah, people weren't really running routes to the point where they get down on the goal line and the receivers didn't run the right routes at all. Jordan Love didn't make the right read. He made a bad throw, and everything went so horrendously wrong that it looked so pretty and so good and Aaron Rodgers-esque. The one that everyone keeps showcasing, that Jordan Love has the greatest arm talent of all time. And great play, great throw. Absolutely no part of it was correct and should have happened, but it did. And we are thankful because of it, I suppose.
It was a Cam Newton throw, that first touchdown.
Yeah.
Just zip it as hard as you can between the defense.
Yeah. Zip it and pray. And it worked. It worked. But now Packers are 5-6. And standings wise, they are half a game back of that last wild card. Vikings currently have it. Obviously, Packers-Vikings play in a couple of weeks again. That'll be extremely important. Packers are also tied with the Saints and the Rams, who they beat both of them. And we got a lot of people talking about how the Packers can win out and make the playoffs. And to that, I think that's foolish. However, I mean, they play the Chiefs this week. Chiefs haven't looked good.
No.
I think they probably lose to the Chiefs. We'll get to that in a little bit. After that, they got the Giants, the Buccaneers, the Panthers, the Vikings, the Bears. There's no game in there that's not winnable.
Correct.
I think that's the most important thing. Like every game's winnable.
Yeah, I think the tough games on those schedules are probably Kansas City, right? I think Minnesota will probably be a tough one. And I think Tampa Bay is a sneaky tough game as well.
I mean, I think they struggle with all of them. but
Sure.
I mean, you got Giants coming off a bye. They're going to struggle. They have to go to New York as well. Tampa, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, we'll see what Baker does, I suppose. Carolina, who knows? We'll see what they look like this week. But they certainly have defensive guys who could play well. And I think the Bears are a better football team than the Packers are. I still believe that. So we'll see what happens there. It would be a real kick in the nuts if the Packers are a playoff team and then the Bears beat them to knock them out, though.
Like the same exact thing as the Lions did last year. That would be horrible for this team.
Yeah. And if the Bears are the ones to do it,
yeah, it'd be horrible.
That's tough. That's tough to recover from. But yeah, Packers are currently in the mix is all you can really ask for. Winnable games. And currently there's 3 primetime games scheduled for them.
Yep.
We'll see if those stand or not. But just the fact that the Packers are in the mix, maybe they keep them. Obviously they have this week. I don't think we can flex them out of the Giants game the week after that yet.
That's Monday night.
Like, I think that would have had to have happened already.
Yep.
And then that Packers-Vikings one, man, like that's going to be important. So I think the Packers keep all 3 of those primetime games, which is insane. Yep. Insane.
I agree.
Trevor's in the chat. Trevor says 31-16 Kansas City. People forget this team looked like hot trash against Pittsburgh just 2 weeks ago. And Stoof said it was all Najee, though. And I mean, whatever. I don't know. This team is hot trash. Like, I don't know what you want me to say. They're not good.
Well, there's obviously been an emphasis, right, for the Packers on limiting star pass rushers, right? I know T.J. Watt was somewhat of a disruption, but he wasn't his regular T.J. Watt self. Aiden Hutchinson felt like he didn't even play last week. Khalil Mack felt like he never played for the Chargers. So whether that's, chipping the tight end, like I've been saying all year, A.J. Dillon's been doing a much better job pass blocking this year. The Packers have put an emphasis on, and that has more than anything helped Jordan Love, more than receivers turning out. Just giving Jordan Love time to throw has been incredible for this offense. And with Kansas City, Kansas City doesn't necessarily have a star pass rusher per se, but their pass rush has been awesome all year. And they come from both sides. They come from the middle. I think that'll definitely be the toughest test. And maybe I'm jumping the gun here, but probably the key to the game, right, is you keep a tight end into chip, you keep a running back into pass block. So I'm with it.
Yeah, for sure. You can't let that defense win the game for Kansas City like they've done, in over half their games this year. Mm-hmm. It's been the defense. What's nice, I assume Nick Bolton will still be out for the Chiefs. He's designated to return from IR this week. He practiced in limited fashion today, but I think it would be kind of rushing him back if immediately he comes back. It's wrist surgery. So could he wrap up his wrist in a way and play the game? Sure. But it's also, the Chiefs are playing a team from the NFC. It's not like it's a must-win game for them, especially with the way the Chargers have put absolutely zero pressure on the Chiefs to win the division. It's kind of the Broncos at this point. They're still a few games back. So, yeah, I don't think Nick Bolton will play. But, yeah, let's just go to the injury report here. Okay, so for the Packers.
Can I say something real quick? Everybody who's listening live right now, happy Spotify Rap Day. Please drop your number one artist in the comments. I like seeing what people listen to.
And drop your number one podcast there as well. And if it's not one of the Flurry Sports podcasts, you might get timed out, but it'll be interesting to see. Packers injury report Wednesday. I'll start it by saying the Packers designated both Darnell Savage and Eric Stokes to return from IR. I believe Savage is further ahead than Stokes. I would trust that more.
Agreed.
But we shall see. Maybe Stokes comes back and sabages the Packers season. That could be fun. It's a fun little story line.
Oh, in terms,
I've not listened to one of their shows.
Never.
Stoof, if you've legitimately listened to them ever, let me give me a 1-sentence thing about why they're popular. That's it. I just want to know what they do well. That's it. I've talked to them before. Haven't listened to their show. In terms of did not practice this week for the Packers, Wednesday for the Packers, AJ Dillon has not practiced because of a groin injury. Aaron Jones did not practice with his knee. Jaden Reed did not practice with a chest injury. And that is it. Last week I talked about the Aaron Jones injury in depth. I do not think he plays this week. I think he has a chance next week, but it's probably out 3 weeks. I think coming back that 4th week makes probably the most sense, but we shall see. AJ Dillon with that groin injuries are so weird. It could be literally nothing, or it could be the most lingering, shitty injury that completely takes all of the power out of his running.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. From what I've heard is it's not severe, but again, groin injury, literally you turn in the hallway a little bit weird and you pop it and it's made worse. So certainly something to watch with AJ Dillon. And I think it's a concerning injury because I've seen groin injuries take out way too many people.
Is it any indication that they released James Robinson?
No, because he was active last week. He's been active last week, last 2 weeks. And if he was a practice squad elevation, I'm not sure if they can elevate him anymore.
Yeah, I think didn't they just cut him, or am I wrong about that?
I think they did, but I mean, like, that means they can sign another practice squad player and then elevate them on game day.
Gotcha.
And save that money, which the Packers love to do. So I think it's more technical stuff than James Robinson's nothing,
Right.
But I mean, if they were extremely worried about AJ Dillon missing, then, maybe they keep him around. So maybe it does mean something. Probably not something we need to talk about right now, but Stu says, I shouldn't have asked, but I asked fantasy footballers. Here's a plug for them. They're just easy to listen to without feeling nerdy. They also probably bought into the algorithm at the time that was easier to. Oh, yeah, for sure that.
Yeah.
They're my only number one because the episodes are so long. How long are their episodes, Stu? I'm curious. But yeah, I mean, they've built something really cool. They've definitely gotten to the algorithm, but is what it is. Okay. Limited. Packers have a big limited participation. I'm just going to read through them quickly. Jair with a shoulder. Yep. Devondre, neck. Kenny Clark, shoulder. DeGuara, hip. Rudy Ford, biceps. Rashawn Gary, shoulder. Robert Rochelle, calf. Eric Stokes and Eric Stokes coming off of IR, hamstring. Dontavian Wicks, knee. Darnell Savage practiced in full, so it does suggest he plays this week. Devontae Wyatt practiced in full. Keyshawn Nixon. Yeah. So a lot of injuries. I'm not really nervous about any of the limited players missing, I don't think.
No.
Other than Stokes, which isn't really missing since he's been gone.
Yep. I agree. I'm with you.
Yeah. So then, but for Kansas City, Jerick McKinnon did not practice. That's their only did not practice. Last week, they did put Mecole Hardman on IR. So, they're down a receiver there. Nick Bolton is designated to return off of IR. He's their star linebacker. He's the one who wears the green dot. I don't think he's going to play. He practiced limited fashion coming off a wrist surgery. If he plays, I think he's going to be limited. I'm not sure if he plays at all. And if he's not out there, that helps the Packers a lot. He's very, very good.
Agreed. Sorry.
Late round fantasy focus 2 and 3, then finance stuff. Finance stuff. I can't do it. The podcast, the podcast award last year, Stoof, was a banking podcast.
Yeah.
And I announced on the Flurry Sports podcast that if they win again, I'm canceling the show. But good news for everybody else. I'm doing a banking segment next week.
Ooh.
I don't know what that means yet, but spoiler alert, it probably doesn't mean what it sounds like. I'll probably I'll bank something else, we'll figure it out. But I'm giving the people what they want. If they want banking podcasts, then we'll fucking count something. I don't know. Money management tips. We'll figure it out.
And this is not a shot at their podcast because I'm sure it's very well produced and very well done and everything.
Doubt it.
how, how do you do a weekly banking podcast? How much
I
is
don't
there to
know.
talk about for banking?
Let me look. I don't even know what it's fucking called. It's something donuts. RCU
Dunkin' Donuts.
donuts.
That was my very
Podcast.
first job, Dunkin' Donuts.
Were you a baker?
No, not even
What were
close.
you? What was it? Was it like coffee, like barista part, or what?
I was a sandwich maker.
There was one person just doing sandwiches.
Well, it started off, we had 5 people doing it, which was incredible. And then the new ownership came in and said, no, we can't do this, only one person, which sucked.
Interesting. So I don't usually get sandwiches from Dunkin'. Is there one that you think is good that's a
No.
go-to? Okay. I haven't been impressed. They've
No.
been bad.
Bagel with
Okay.
cream cheese.
Okay. So I'm looking at the Money Donuts podcast. By the way, I'm going to leave them a 1-star review right now. Fuck them. So these are their last few episode titles. And by the way, much less fun than the Flurry Sports podcast titles, I shall say. Latest episode, scam and fraud prevention. Stay skeptical, stay in the know. Snore. Business banking questions and answers. Who cares?
Yep.
It's time for collections reality check.
Oh,
Okay, good. That's not a bad title.
kicking the nuts.
By the way, they're like less than a monthly podcast.
How does that make sense?
Financial well-being and the National Credit Union Foundation. Who cares?
I've never heard of anything more boring in my life.
No, at your service, a branch manager's perspective. And I know for a fact that title was created by ChatGPT because I made them force us to make 1 million titles for the Flurry Sports podcast, and we use that for months. That's a ChatGPT title. I can sniff that shit out. There's a little bit of a fight going on in the chat. Trevor worked at Subway. That's the least surprising thing I've ever heard, I think. That's what Sandwich Artist is, right? That's only Subway?
I believe so.
Okay. Trevor made a footlog one time and Stu ate the whole thing. Okay.
We
Interesting.
We did at Dunkin' Donuts. It was me and my buddy Noah. Shout out Noah. He did the call on the drive-through, and I did the window, and that was very fun. We had Julius Peppers was the best one to come through. That was awesome. Gave him an extra piece of cheese on a sandwich.
You said that.
Yeah.
And I'd like to think he knows that.
Yeah.
He remembered it. He sniffed it out. Cousins calls their people sandwich artists.
Cousins is good.
I need to try it again. I tried it one time, wasn't good.
Double cheesesteak.
I had like basic ass, like they catered something.
Yeah, get double cheesesteak with onions and green peppers. It's an incredible sandwich. Pickles too.
Where do they rank
a little spicy
compared to Jersey Mike's?
I'd put them just below Jersey Mike's. Jersey Mike's is my number 1.
Okay. So, I mean, this is a little bit of a preview for what we're going to do after, football season here. Where do you put Jimmy John's in
Love
your
it too.
sandwich?
Like
really? I hate Jimmy
3.
John's.
Yeah, I love Jimmy John's.
I think I would put them below Subway, and I think Subway's trash. I think Subway's bad. I don't like Jimmy John's.
I love Jimmy John's. The spicy Italian from Jimmy John's is a great sandwich.
Like, I think I would go Jersey Mike's. I don't know Cousins. I like Firehouse Subs. I think that's okay.
I haven't had them enough to have an opinion. I like Quiznos. We used to have a Quiznos here. We don't have it anymore.
Yeah, same in Eau Claire. It's been forever, so I don't have a good opinion, I don't think. I don't know what else there is, though. Other than, I like Herbert's and Gerbert's.
Oh,
if
yeah.
You have that.
Yep.
That's local, obviously.
Yep.
But
yep.
Sandwich Artist, Wells Fargo, those motherfuckers definitely be doing anything but bank shit. I don't know what that means.
Speaking of Herbert and Gerbert's, back in high school, a bunch of my buddies used to work at the one, and it was in the same. It was like in the hockey rink that like the high school team would play their hockey games at, and they would they put a bell up front, and they'd sit in the back, and they'd bring TV and just play COD back there. Someone ring the bell and come up and make sandwiches. It's very funny.
Nice. That's very good. There's people used to work at an old drive-in movie theater, kind of in Elk Mound in Eau Claire. Did the same thing. Just just playing games the entire time. Like, I'd go in. I don't work there. I used to just go in there and just hang out.
Yeah, me too. Yep.
Fucking best. Okay, I mean,
So
What is there to
20,
talk
24-10 Chiefs.
Okay, so Chiefs are favored by 6 points, 42.5 over under, so little lower than what we've seen. Trevor said what score?
31-16.
31-16 Chiefs. You said what score?
I'm gonna say 31-21 Chiefs.
Okay. So you both think they cover. I'm not convinced of that. I think the Chiefs win. I wrote down 22-17 Chiefs. I think Chiefs win. I think the Chiefs struggle offensively as they've done all year. But yeah, I mean the key to the Packers, you got to protect Jordan Love. Don't let the Chiefs defense take over. You also can't turn the ball over. Like you can't give Mahomes extra possessions.
Correct. This is a game too where Packers probably go for like 4th and 4s, 4th and 3s, maybe a 2-point conversion too. Like you're not beating Patrick Mahomes kicking field goals.
No, yeah, we've seen that too many times where teams go passive and they just settle for points, and it just doesn't work, especially second half. Like, gotta put the nail in the coffin at some point. Can't let the Chiefs hang around in a similar way that the Packers actually took care of the Lions. Like they just, figured it out. But yeah, I think it's going to be a closer game than what people think. At least I could see the Chiefs pulling away at the end, I suppose, but
yeah,
we shall see.
It's gonna be a cold game. I think the snow's coming. Like all these out of town Packer fans. Oh, I hope it snows in Lambeau. Yada yada. Yeah, it'd be great, but someone's have to fucking live here. I fucking hate the snow, man.
Yeah, that shot. Do you guys got snow right now?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, we do too. Was not fun.
No,
I thought we were dodging it for so long.
I know snow sucks.
It does suck. This is the worst fucking time of year.
Yeah.
Now I'm going up to Duluth this weekend.
Oh boy.
Supposed to be fine. Supposed to be nice weather.
No chance.
No snow. No chance. We're gonna get destroyed.
You're getting 18 inches.
Yeah. Well, last year we went up this weekend. It was the coldest weekend of the year.
Yeah.
In early December, it was -20.
Mm-hmm.
How? It
Crazy.
made no sense. It's supposed to be like maybe in pushing 40s right now. There's no chance when we get up there.
God, no.
I'm gonna fucking die. We shall see. Snow is an underrated precipitation
That's
type.
the worst thing I've ever heard.
I mean, it's just snow and rain, right?
Hail.
Hail's kind of badass.
Hail's cool.
Yeah, but I'm thankful I have a garage now. Duluth is hell if hell was closed. Have you been to Duluth? If hell was cold.
Yes. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I've never been to Duluth, but it seems very cold.
I mean, usually, we don't really get into it. I mean, I agree with Stu. Superior and Duluth are usually warmer than like Eau Claire in the winter.
Yeah,
whatever
okay.
That's worth. But I don't know. I like it. It's not hell. Anything else? Do you have a bone to pick with Packer fans?
That was it. That they want snow and I don't.
Oh. Yeah. I mean, that's why the Packers have, those primetime games at the end of the year, right?
Yeah.
Like that's what everyone's wanting. They want to have that Lambeau moment, I suppose, especially if they can get Jordan Love. They keep matching him up with all these shitty teams, cold weather. Like, can he have his Lambeau moment, and then we can parlay that into something next year? And we'll see, I guess.
I want the same people who want snow to also accept the fact that it's going to take you an extra 2 hours to get out of the stadium because you can't fucking drive in snow.
I mean, this is the time of year, too. No one knows how to fucking drive in snow.
Right.
It's insane. It's so stupid. Okay, well, fuck the Money Donuts podcast, I think it's called. I'm not sure. Jones's Snow Princess.
Dunkin' Donuts is no longer called Dunkin' Donuts. It's just Dunkin'. You know that?
Dunkin'. Yeah, that's weird.
I like that rebrand, I think.
I think it's fine, but...
Although, I've been on record saying I'm a fan of alliteration in national brands.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Who else, though?
For
alliteration. I don't know if there's anybody else. Do you mean just simplifying it maybe to just a couple letters, like BK?
I think the Dunkin' Donuts should be DD.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I don't like, because I think Dunkin' is like actually DNKN, right? Or do they have vowels?
DUNKIN.
Oh, okay. Like Mountain Dew changing their name to like MTN.
Bad.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Bad.
It's not cool.
Krispy Kreme.
Let
Best Buy.
Okay. Best yeah, yeah. Very true. Um Okay, so again, last pitch here. Scan the QR code, go to volume1.org/best of, and vote for us in the podcast awards. Again, you can vote up to 3 podcasts, and you can vote as many times as you have email addresses. So if you have some free time this weekend, create some email addresses. Vote for the Lombardi Sweep podcast, the Flurry Sports podcast, and then either the I Don't Think So podcast or Fantasy Football by Committee. Let's sweep the category. Let's get all top 3, and the acceptance speech will probably get us kicked out, but it'll be a fun time. So definitely go do that. Please, we'll be very thankful. It'll end the ever long bit of us being an award nominated podcast, because this is the year we were actually told about it. So please go and vote, and we will be back next week. Hopefully the Packers are win again. And if we do, I'll change my tune. Packers undefeated rest of the season. Espinoza did his part. Thank you. Later.
If Zach Espinoza can do it, everybody can do it.